Teresa Giudice of the Real Housewives of New Jersey is attempting to assist Joe Giudice in coming back to the country by working with her family. In an effort to assist Joe Giudice in getting back to the United States, Teresa Giudice of the Real Housewives of New Jersey joined forces with Louis Giudice and her 4 daughters to send letters. Since he was sent back to Italy in October 2019, Joe hasn't lived in the United States. The choice was made in October 2018, and by March 2019, Teresa had begun to make hints that she could get a divorce from Joe because of their distance. After serving consecutive prison terms for fraud, Joe and Teresa were deported. Teresa and Joe split up and got divorced. Joe and Teresa of the Real Housewives of New Jersey have maintained their amicable co-parenting arrangement after his deportation, although Joe has remained vocal about wanting to live nearer to his girls. To spend quality time with their father, the Giudice daughters have flown to Italy and the Bahamas. Surprisingly, Teresa and Louis also joined them. When Joe joined Teresa and Louis for a family dinner in the Bahamas, many people were taken aback. The dinner demonstrated Joe's support for Teresa moving on after their 20-year marriage ended. Joe and Louis' relationship as the biological father and stepfather of the Giudice girls has always been praised by Louis. Considering the work Louis put into Joe's endeavor to regain entrance into the United States, their affection for one another seemed real. The Giudice family is working on Joe's homecoming with Louis' assistance, the original housewife said in Teresa's Names to Be Dollarches, which aired on December 21, 2022. Every one of the Giudice girls has written letters outlining why they want their father to return to this country, Teresa revealed. To aid in the procedure, Louis also wrote a letter. Teresa responded, "Never say never," when asked if there was a chance Joe may go back to the United States. Teresa was inspired to send her letter after witnessing her new husband support Joe in a letter. She said, "We want Dad to come back for our daughters." Teresa talked about how difficult it had been to raise the daughters all by myself since Joe was sentenced to prison. Because he doesn't want to say anything to the girls' cause, he's like, "I don't want them to say to me, like, 'You're not my dad,' or something like that." Teresa claims that Louis is frequently placed in a difficult position as the stepfather. Louis' commitment to pleasing Teresa and her girls is demonstrated by his assistance in Joe's potential return. The Real Housewives of New Jersey and perhaps Joe's return to the United States would result in fantastic ratings. Before Joe was deported, their marriage had experienced difficulties, which contributed to their prison terms. Despite their separation, Teresa continues to be a devoted supporter of Joe, and he reciprocates Teresa's affection and esteem. Teresa and Joe are still close friends and co-parenting partners, even after getting divorced. It would be good to see this blended family dynamic in the near future because Joe and Louis don't feel intimidated by one another.